Alrighty, we are about to get started. Welcome in, everybody, to our community showcase. I hear myself. Let me find where that is coming. Alright. But yeah, we're going to kick it off with Dairy Fiend versus WBAT5816. I'm Austin from the Enhanced team, and excited to play some Score Tech tonight. Actually, I'm excited to spectate. I will most likely not be playing unless somebody needs an opponent around my skill level. But yeah, I think we have a fairly long queue tonight, so if you are in the Discord, just... there I am. Yeah, just be ready to play. Check the pinned message in the matchmaking thread, and we'll have some fun. But WBAT, Dairy Fiend, when you are ready, let's kick it off. Let's hop right into it. We got a lot of matches to cover. Welcome in Got Yo Sauce, Stormbound Arcade, Matt, Nathan, Dairy Fiend, TiVo, RB, Got Yo Sauce. Good stuff. It's going to be a fun night. All right, we're going to hop right into it. But yeah, I hope you all are ready for the weekend. Let me know if you have any fun, especially gaming plans. I know I'll be playing some Tetris the Grandmaster 4. There's a Wildgate game coming out or something, but let's get my face off the screen. But yeah, if you're gaming this weekend or playing any Tetris, feel free to share your plans in the chat here. But got Dairy Fiend on the left, WBAT5816 on the right to kick off tonight's stream. And if you're looking to play, be sure to join the Discord at discord.gg/enhance. And we have a matchmaking thread there every Friday, just about. We didn't last Friday, but yeah, just make sure you have that community events role, and you'll be notified when we do these. And it's open to all players. So yeah, this is a good chance to get on stream, because usually we showcase for our big tournaments, we showcase the best players, the best of the best. But if you're new, just looking to hang out, play some games, maybe change up the settings, have some fun, this is the night for you. Dairy Fiend stacking pretty clean. I noticed that two-wide action, which is kind of nice in terms of stacking or like building up. So good fundamentals from Dairy Fiend. And WBAT bringing this back down. I'm going to want to start to look for Tetrises, as Dairy Fiend seems to be in the know with clean Tetris stacking using that 0-9 well, meaning that... I'm sorry, 9-0 well, meaning that the open well is on the right. It'd be 0-9 well if the open well was on the left. Just started Super Lucky's Tale on Steam Deck, and it's wild that the nostalgia... I'm not familiar with that game. Oh, game, is it like a new game, like not a demake, but is it trying to get off or show off like the old vibe? There's another game like that called Crow's Country or something I saw. I saw it at Day of the Devs in Los Angeles last year when I had the chance to make it out to that. It looks like a PlayStation 1 game. It's kind of cool when people do that. Get him, Dairy, says TiVo. Yeah, Dairy has a few lines of cheese at the very bottom, but kind of stacked over it so that they can maintain that back-to-back. There we go. Tetris for Dairy Fiend. Running into... Oh, just goes for the Tetris. That's actually just fine. I guess you could either fill that in or go for the Tetris first. Better safe than sorry, and just bring your board down. WBAT has a stack in the works here. It's going to want to open up this right and start trying to find some Tetrises. But is getting a 9-0 stack going here. Super Lucky's Tale. Maybe if I saw an image, I would recognize it. I do need to get a new game started on my Steam Deck. I was kind of feeling a point-and-click game or something like that. Anywho, yeah, WBAT running into some issues here. Dairy Fiend's kind of killing it. Keep a nice clean stack, but Dairy Fiend is also moving quite quickly, meaning that if WBat can get it together, get some scoring going here, can actually get caught up. But yeah, Dairy Fiend definitely setting the pace here. But yeah, tonight, Score Attack is the name of the game. Kind of like an asynchronous multiplayer setup, kind of similar to classic Tetris in that regard if you follow competitive classic Tetris. But as soon as the player tops out, they'll have 2 minutes to catch the opponent's score if they are behind. But yeah, whoever has the highest score will be the victor. But one thing to note, so it does seem like just a straight up high score head-to-head, almost like single player-ish, right? But you can change the way you play based off of how your opponent's doing. If they make any mistakes, you'll be like, oh, I can play a little safer. Of course, the higher you climb on the leaderboards, the more optimal you're going to have to play and get to those later levels. But yeah, you could try to, if you notice your opponent, for example, is struggling on higher speeds and they're no longer scoring anymore, and you have the ability to just keep your cool, play a little more conservative, and you could try to take advantage of those higher speeds, for example. Try not to do anything too outlandish. Dairy Fiend's keeping it nice and clean. Here we go again with kind of like that combo wheel setup, which is fairly conservative, but that conservative stacking is paying off, even if Dairy Fiend is getting some skims here. Not really creating any cheese. And when I say cheese, I mean like holes in their rows of blocks, right? Where you have to kind of down stack to clear it out eventually. And just kind of taking the skims, almost like a classic Tetris playstyle. Where you just want to advance and survivability is the goal. But in keeping it clean, still getting a lot of Tetrises and has accrued quite a lead. Yeah, just community matches. You are welcome to join us. Anybody's welcome to join us. Of course, early bird gets the worm. So if you're in our Discord and are already in the queue, you are likely going to be playing. We are going to close the queue at some point. Especially with Score Attack. If I let everyone play Score Attack night, I'll be here for quite a while. Yeah, it's good practice, honestly, especially if you are trying to, like, even as a hobby, if you're trying to improve and if you want to play in competitive tournaments in the future, this is like a good in-between, because you still might have some nerves on playing like on stream, right? Playing on screen. It's a good way to kind of get acclimated, maybe meet some players around your skill level if you wanted to play friendlies after. That goes for anybody here. As soon as your match ends here on stream, you're welcome to keep playing, hang out, play alongside us. And yeah, WBAT I think is fairly new to our showcases. I want to say debuted last week for Zone Battle. But we're always getting new people, always getting new players on Tetris Effect. And most of our new players don't necessarily, they kind of stick to journey mode, right? So a goal of this as well is to be kind of a stepping stone in a multiplayer. Say a player just gets this game on Steam or PlayStation for the first time, sees that we're doing this tonight. Maybe they'll tune in and want to play. Which does happen. I'll make fun of your stack as I will be making fun of my stack. As long as you make fun of yourself, Ferox. I guess that's fair. I've only touched Score Attack once before. Yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think it is actually, on a casual level, it's fairly popular because it's, how do I put it? You're not getting bombarded with attacks. You can kind of go at your own pace, right? It's harder to find matches as you climb. I think a lot of our top players like to play Zone Battle and or Classic Score Tech, so they tend to be more active. But Score Tech's a really good intro multiplayer mode for sure, and or connected to co-op. All right, Dairy Fiend's going to top out level 22. Now, Dairy Fiend really put on the pace there and made use of that runway to be ahead by nearly 100 lines. So, and yeah, that's another factor is the speed play, which is harder to take advantage of in competitive play because, for one, usually the players are going to be fast at a high level, but two, with a higher level start, that means there's going to be less lines cleared in order to complete the mode. So there's less runway. If you start on a lower speed level, say you start on level 0 versus level 20, that means you have an extra 100 lines, right? I guess 10 or below. But WBAT actually getting better as this game progresses. I started off a little rocky with the stacking. Did cover that Tetris well. But at the least, we'll see if WBAT can get some nice Tetrises here, as they are on track. Yeah, 10 and below gives you more lines. Yep. Thank you for validating me. And up next, I believe we're going to be doing TiVo and Aiken. So be ready to play. Yeah, TiVo. All right, time is up. Got a good 10-minute round in there. So, yeah, thank you, too, for playing. Dairy Fiend was bringing it there, so don't feel too bad, WBAT. Really clean play. And, yeah, thank you, too, for kicking off tonight's stream. All right, TiVo and Aiken, some regulars around these parts. Make your way to the lobby. Yeah, Aiken's strong. I don't know if... I know Aiken's Zone Battle I'm the most familiar with. We'll see how Aiken's Score Tech is. TiVo, I believe in you, though. You've been improving. All right. And yeah, win or lose tonight, like, that goes for anybody here. There are going to be mismatches. Just play your best in the end. This mode of all modes, if there is a mismatch, it is like you can kind of play single player a little bit, right? So, yeah. TiVo, have you been playing? I saw you were watching. Well, I was playing some Tetris Grandmaster 4 last night. Has anybody here been playing the new Tetris game? It's been fun for me. Kind of crazy that it's like it feels like a game that should have been released definitely like 20 years ago. So it's like a time capsule a little bit. It's definitely, so TGM4 is definitely more for like diehard Tetris players. I want to say, if you are a newer player, check out Tetris Effect from Enhance. But yeah, if you're looking for more Tetris action, definitely check it out if you're a fan like me. Yeah, that's smart, Stormbound. I'm never usually a first day buyer for any game nowadays because yeah, you never know like the quality of the port, etc. So it's a group called Patient Gamers. Patient Gamers, I suggest everyone join the club when it comes to that. Unless it's like a game you've been super excited for and maybe you've played a demo or something, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna absolutely love this game. And that's how I feel about pretty much any Tetris game. So, what else? What other day one purchases have I made recently? I think Baldur's Gate 3. I made a day one purchase. But yeah, we're just looking for Aiken. Let's see if Aiken. They said wait. We'll give it another minute. If Aiken isn't around, we can get the next match started. Two retro handhelds, two Nintendo DS, 3DS. I don't know. I skipped the whole 3DS era. I guess I actually wasn't really gaming a whole lot around then. And Switch. Switch library is crazy at this point. But yeah, if Aiken is not around... Okay, Aiken's here. We'll get Aiken in here. But yeah, how's everyone faring in Tetris Effect as of late? Any new high scores? What are your game modes that you've been playing? I think what effect mode I've been playing in the most. Probably combo. A few weeks ago in our community Discord hangout on Saturdays, which we should have one tomorrow, by the way, right? I think we're due for that, Ferox. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be having a full moon hangout in the Enhanced Community Discord. So if you're looking to socialize during the weekend ritual and or play some friendly connected versus lobbies, try to coordinate in ranked queue and be on the same team, or talk smack if you're on opposing teams, which definitely happens as well. It's a good time. So we'll be hanging out in the Enhanced Discord around 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And if you're unsure how that translates to your time zone, just check the events in the top left of the Discord. Imagine this is your Discord window, and it's going to be like right here. Then you hit that events button, and it'll show what time the hangout is. Gotta make sure your goofy son stays off the mic. Oh, you hit 127 in sprint. Very nice. What was your how's your sprint progression going? Do you have a goal in mind, or just kind of chipping away? I feel like with sprint specifically, you're gonna have like big, how do I put it? You're gonna have blips or big like things where something like clicks in a way that it hasn't clicked before, and then you just, I feel like you're gonna hit like a 10-second improvement. I don't know, speaking for myself. All right, Aiken and Tiva, when you're ready, I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. 2 community showcase regulars. I like trying to time my camera disappearing when it goes into the, the loading screen here. All right. Level 16 start from Aiken. All right, TiVo. Put it nice and clean. Yeah, sprint. I feel like when I was newer to Tetris, sprint is a very great mode to practice, especially if you have like a lot of room for improvement when it comes to speed, right? I definitely had moments of sprint grind personally. But nowadays, I just kind of stick to multiplayer. Because it takes a lot to get like less than a second of improvement when you get to a certain point, right? You got to put in a lot of effort to get smaller improvements. So I kind of stray away from sprint nowadays. Boom, Tetris for TiVo. The player's kind of running into some cheese here. Oh, you picked up T-spin triples. Yeah, some people, it can take a while for T-spin triples to click. I almost like found them more approachable than T-spin doubles in a weird way, just because of how the notching works. But yeah, T-spins, that's another thing that when it clicks, you're gonna have a big aha moment, right? We can reset this one. We have time for another. Let's do a lower level start. I feel like Aiken is probably, that's why I asked about your rating. I feel like it's maybe underrated, but it is what it is. Yeah, TV, you can pick a level. More comfortable. Yeah, some games it'll be easier to move faster on, right? Oh yeah, please redo, please redo. You can retry. Oh. You two are welcome to play again. Yeah, these streams are fun. They're chill. It's nice to have a casual. It's hard to. First off, it's hard to have a casual competitive environment because competitive by nature, you're gonna want to do your best and might get frustrating, right? But I feel like this is a good in between. Yeah, we can swap out if it makes sense. Looks like you're handling that, Ferox. Oh, you could. I see Dairy Fiend's in here. You want to do it? I think that's a classic. I know you two are friends. We can do TiVo versus Dairy Fiend real quick. Or Nathan. Okay, if Nathan's around, I'll let Ferox. Ferox is the arbiter here. I don't want to mess or override everybody. Does Nathan have a match yet? Let's see. Oh, if Nathan is still searching, that'd be perfect. Let's just do Nathan versus TiVo. Yeah. Okay. If you want to play Haken, you can. I do not mind as long as we get a match going here. All right, Nathan's in here. I think you and Nathan should be a similar skill level. All right, let's do it. Good luck, have fun, you two. All right, check out this camera timing. Oh no, I was a little off that time. And then on deck will be, who's on deck? Ignacia versus Jabberbox. Nathan, can you play on... I don't know if Nathan can play on 16, TiVo. We could do something lower if that's okay. Oh, Nathan's... Okay, they're doing it. All right. Tivo might have been typing or something, but able to clean it up pretty quickly here, so nicely done. Did anybody play in Tizago's tournament last Friday? Kind of curious how that went. I actually didn't check the results on that. I don't know. Maybe Ferox, did you play in that? The Zone Cup too? Mac and cheese, welcome in. CVS means connected versus. It's the 3v1 co-op verse. So, yeah, for community showcases, it's 3 players versus 1 player as a boss. And we'll be doing that next Friday, so definitely stop by for that. I think our queue might be fairly long tonight, so no promises. But that goes for anybody just tuning in. Make sure you're in the Enhanced Discord. You have that community event role selected. And yeah, just let us know if you're willing to play in these showcases. We'll try to get you in here. Oh, you were traveling. I'm sorry, because I was also busy. Whoops. Sorry, Ferox. Sorry, I do not have a perfect memory, unfortunately. I remember the important things, all right? How's our game going? It's pretty close here. So we've got Nathan only ahead by 15k. That's like not much, especially for level 16 start. If one player, if Tivo gets a Tetris, for example, it'll be very... there's potential to change the lead multiple times here. And or some T-spins. Oh, how did MTS go? Modern Tetris Showdown. That's another thing. I was at a wedding last weekend, so I had to turn off all my Discords and everything. I was trying to be polite. I had to give a speech. I never had to give a speech before at a wedding. And then when I was giving my speech, I pulled out my notes on my phone, and I was trying to scroll down in my notes. So I was using, it was just notes on Android or something, which I never use. But I didn't have an internet connection, so it wouldn't let me open a Google Doc. And I was trying to scroll down, and instead of scrolling down, it was drawing over my text. So I was like trying to get to the next part of my speech, and it was just drawing on my phone, like with like a marker or something. And it just it was stressful in the moment, but they liked it, so it's okay. Anywho, we got some Tetris going on here. As much as I would like to vent about that. Tivo's getting a little high, but the score is still pretty close. Nathan's handling it. Nathan is moving a little bit slower, but keeping it clean and able to nab some Tetrises here. Tiva's getting a little high on the board. Getting close to that level transition too, so it's only going to get faster from this point forward. We'll see if Tivo can manage to survive. Survivability could be the name of the game here for coming back as well. So nice double from TiVo. Nathan about halfway up the board. Not really getting any Tetrises at this point. Has some cheats on the board, but is surviving. Ooh, that's a rough S or Z piece there for TiVo. And that'll be it. Nathan, if you're welcome to play this out a little bit more if you would like. All right, GG. That's actually really close. Nathan just managed to squeeze out some extra Tetrises, especially early on there. But yeah, similar approaches there. So GG, Nathan takes it. Thank you both for playing per usual. And who do we got next? Oh yeah, Jabberbox and I always mess up the pronunciation, I feel like. Ignacia Ice Breath is what I read. You two are up next. Make your way to the lobby. Yeah, it's a good matchup. TiVo and Nathan for sure. Oh, you had the stream muted. Yeah, some people are different about that, right? The community that comes to mind for that is the classic Tetris community, because it's part of like the environment. So in person, for classic Tetris, you hear the commentators over the PA, right? I know some like fighting game tournaments, like Super Smash Bros, for example, it like threw me off because I'm used to competitive Tetris lands. I went to Genesis X, like the big Smash Bros tournament, and I went in the room. You don't hear the commentary because it's like rule of thumb that for fighting game tournaments, I guess, that you're not supposed to hear the commentary or something, or at least for Smash. No coaching, no whatever. Whereas like classic Tetris leans into it, right? With that being said, some players, if they want to lock in, they're going to put on headphones or something like that. Put on some good music. Everyone has a different way of locking in, for sure. Room code should be in the Discord. We just posted there so that we don't get unsavory characters trying to go into the lobby, if that makes sense. Which has happened. So you did they get pinged? Here, let's try doing the next match here. And try and prepare. There we go. Sorry, Fairbot was not pinging you. That's our fault. Two, three, four, five, yeah. Ferox is giving you a hard time. Should we time out Ferox for that? That was rude. All right. Ooh, that was a good camera transition. I'm getting good. Okay. Ignacia on the left, Jabberbox on the right. Good luck, have fun. I believe Ignacia Ice Breath, IIB, I believe they won the bronze zone battle bracket. It was bronze or silver 1 or 2 years in a row. So shout out to them for competing. Maybe some other brackets as well. But they have played in a lot of TECWC. Anyone that plays in TECWC is a friend of mine. Actually, I better retract that. That might not be true. But you're off to a good start if you play in TECWC. I will for sure smile. All right. Well, we got some clean stacking from both players. Maintaining back-to-back is going to be really important for if you're both going for Tetrises here. So any skims, if you go for any clears that are not Tetrises, it'll break that back-to-back bonus. So Jabberbox had a little misdrop there and should break back-to-back at some point. Unless they just stack over it, which is an option. But little things like that, if you're both Tetris stacking, will add up over time. All right, so about 2 minutes in, Jabberbox with a little bit more speed. However, this is really close actually. I have trouble. I'm not used to level 1 starts or whatever they started on, so I have trouble doing the quick math here. But it looks like Jabberbox has a true lead right now, a little bit more efficient, and Jabberbox did manage to kind of completely stack over that empty row. So we see the misdrop immortalized on the bottom row there for Jabberbox, who's now Tetrising. That was not back-to-back, but next Tetrises should be back-to-back here for that bonus score. Still anybody's game, though. Jabberbox playing a little bit in the future. And as we level up, the Tetrises are worth more anyways. So if whoever has cleaner play in the later levels is going to be much more poised to be victorious rather than whoever had the higher efficiency earlier on. So far, a good matchup here. We're about to have a change in music, I believe, at level 10. And change in the background. Yeah, Aiken's tough, Tiva. It's a tall order. One day, though. Practice up. Ooh, we got thumbs up from Nathan there. And there's that music change, level 11, okay. Ooh, that's a rough misdrop for Jabberbox. And you know what? Ignacia has been accruing quite a lead, even though they started out a little bit behind here on score. Because these later levels are definitely more important, as the worth of the Tetris is multiplicative of the level. So, what is it? Is it 1,200? I want to say times the level. Somebody correct me. Tetris trivia. And then, of course, back-to-back bonus on top of that. Aiken was your first showcase opponent? Yeah, you two have been in multiple showcases. You two, Shock, Grasspelt. I know I'm missing some others. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that is a regular that stops by pretty much every week. Y'all are awesome. This is a neck and neck though. Jabberbox, yeah, was able to garner a bit of a lead there. And now we are pretty much neck and neck, and every Tetris counts from this point forward. And of course, we're approaching that 20G, meaning the piece is going to instantly fall down once we hit like pretty much at speed level 20, but it's going to feel like that at 19 and 18 as well. And then from there on, the I think 20 to 24 speed levels, I believe it, what is it? Is it the line clear delay is shorter and the lock delay? Not the lock delay. I want to say line clear delay. And then the gravity really kicks in 25 plus. Of course, yes, 30 plus if you are that skilled. ScoreTech may not be the most popular, especially when it comes to just online matchmaking, but I must say some of our best competitive matches have been ScoreTech matches. There's something about the nerves, especially when it's just how tense these matches get when it's just like neck and neck between, say, Siaki Gohan and Super Shocky, Zen SS, Ferox, whoever it may be. When it's super close and getting to that like 30 plus, it's just, yeah, it gets so tense. I love it. Especially when there's so much on the line. ScoreTech happens to, I feel like it's usually one of our deciding factors in the trifecta format, where you have to compete in all three 1v1 modes, right? I feel like Zone Battle and Classic tend to have higher skill discrepancies, at least within our community, so ScoreTech tends to be a decider. Not always the case, of course, but I feel like within our trifecta matches, ScoreTech usually is our deciding game type, with some exceptions. I think Super Shocky versus Dorami 2022 was a classic ScoreTech decider, which makes sense. No hold all. That's an interesting observation. Yeah, no hold at all from Ice Breath. You don't really see that very often. I use hold way too much, probably more than I should. That's actually kind of impressive. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, Ice Breath with the pure Tetris play, no holds. They can handle whatever's thrown their way. I'd love to see a mystery mode used within a tournament somehow. You know what we could do for one of these showcases? And I have been trying to think of ways to get other streamers more involved. For those of you that participated in the Tetris block party, actually, let me hold that thought just because it's getting really close here. For Jabberbox at level 25, the speed really starts to kick in, yeah, around this level, because it's a step up from the lock delay. So the pieces lock in sooner, moving up from each level 25 plus. So Ice Breath has the opportunity to get caught up here. It's going to need to get some Tetrises, though. Either that, or if Ice Breath is able to play into the higher levels, they could go the survivability route, but just judging by what I see so far, definitely going to want to try to get some scoring. It's really close. Yeah, 25s. Players are going to feel that. All right, that was a close game, though. GG. Very close averages. We have some S-Ranks. What was I just discussing? With Tetris Block Party, if anyone followed what we did with the Game Boy Tetris and Tetris Grandmaster 1 and 2, I believe if you're streaming to the Twitch category, in this case it was Tetris Grandmaster, we would just pull up your single player gameplay, right, and put it side by side with somebody else. We could do something like that maybe. That would just require people to stream to the category to participate. That, or we could do like Discord, if you could stream to Discord, I guess. Maybe one way. We could do mystery mode head to head. That'd be kind of fun. Although mystery mode head to head, I mean, this for a totally fun event, nothing on the line, no prizes or anything, it makes sense, but some players are going to get better RNG, right? I think it probably would balance out over 150 lines, but imagine like one player gets 5 all clears and the other doesn't get one throughout their whole run. It's an idea, though. All right, so up next, we have Jason in here. Who is Jason? Is that the right match? Is Pac-Man also Jason? Or do you Pac-Man? Okay. Awesome. And then, yeah, I guess Aiken, when you're ready, you can hop back in here. But yeah, with nothing on the line, it still would be fun. And I think if you were on the receiving end of the poor RNG, it's a free cope. If you lose, you could be like, oh, I just got poor RNG, right? So you can just blame the game. You never blame RNG? What? That's the Tetris Classic. You have to. It's never your fault. Especially classic Tetris. No, but in seriously, you have the right idea. I think usually you do not want to blame RNG. You want to try to figure out what could I have done differently, for sure. How can I play with the pieces I was dealt? It'll go a lot further than if you just complain about the RNG, 100%. All right, so Pac-Man is in here. Aiken is once again not here. I don't know if there's somebody else that can fill the shoes. Oh yeah, the AI in that game is crazy. Is Aiken even here still? Maybe somebody else, if not. They might have left. Alright, Sauce, have you signed up? Let's see. If you're not in the queue, we could probably slot you in here. Oh, they're against Chalk, okay. I don't see... Is Pac-Man in the queue? I don't see Pac-Man on the Oh, it's PH. Okay, I see. Oh, it's because they're not in either played or future matches. It doesn't show under current match for some reason. Well, let's see if we can get somebody else in here. What was your rating again, Pac-Man? I mean, if we have to, we can just let Caillou Sauce play 2 games. That's fine with me. Just so we're not sitting here for too long. Yeah, we can do that. Caillou Sauce, if you want to hop in. We can get 2 games. Yeah, let's do this. All right. Oh no. I missed my timing. Welcome to the classics, or not classics. I already misspoke. Welcome to the ScoreTac Showcase, where we have Jason on the left, Caillou Sauce on the right. Good luck and have fun. Ooh, that's a rough Z placement for Jason. We'll see if he's able to clean that up here. Meanwhile, Caillou Sauce, a little bit of a combo there. A double into a triple or something like that into a Tetris. See if we can continue that back-to-back Tetris bonus for Caillou Sauce. See if Jason can manage to clean this up a little bit. Try to get into a Tetrising position. Ooh, really nice cleanup for Jason. Very nice. Getting acclimated here. And as Jason plays with One Piece preview, that could either A, mean that Jason has had this game for a while and has always had One Piece preview, because now it defaults to 4-piece preview, but it used to default to 1. You had to switch it to 4. Or they just switched it to One Piece preview as a preference, which is totally cool as well. Less overwhelming. Maybe for some players feels more pure. I know Aiken uses 2-piece previews as a preference. Does anyone use 3? I don't know if there's any 3-piece preview players out there. There's got to be 1 or 2. Too many previews is a distraction. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. At a certain point, it's going to be really helpful for strategizing, especially in like zone battle, right, where you want to try to create certain setups, T-spin setups, and I guess, yeah, for score attack as well. If you want to maintain ST as best as possible, for example, or like some kind of pattern. However, just, yeah, go with whatever makes the most sense to you. And of course, you could adjust it in the future if you're like, I've mastered my one piece review. Let's throw a few other pieces in here. Yeah, if that's how you have fun and how you want to play, you definitely can stay that way for sure. But just like, for example, knowing that your long bar is 4 pieces out, you could stack in a certain way that you wouldn't have the information to stack otherwise, right? But Got Sauce has a nice lead here, and Jason has gotten into a scoring position despite that rocky start here, so definitely in a good position to get caught up here, especially if Got Sauce does break that back-to-back, whereas Jason maintains it. That's a great way to get caught up here. All right, Jason took a few skims, playing from the bottom of the board. It's always good to get that mental reset and literal reset, I guess, of your board. If you want to get back into maintaining a proper parity, and what I mean by that is a nice and level board, ready to accommodate any piece. Typically, the T piece is the culprit when it comes to maintaining and fixing parity. Got your sauce in a little bit of trouble here. Should have what it takes to bring this down if I know the player well enough. But this should allow Jason to kind of tie up the game, especially now that line clears are worth more points. Nice tuck there for Got Your Sauce. Managed to get a Tetris despite this high center, which can be anxiety-ridden, if you ask me. But yeah, this could be pretty close. Pretty similar line count, so a true lead for Got Your Sauce, but she's not in the best position to score. Oh, she might be able to get a Tetris here. There we go, Tetris for Got Your Sauce. I'll be curious to know which one of these players manages the level 15 to 20 phase better, when the pieces pretty much instantly drop down. That's a different skill set when it comes to stacking, which generally will favor having your well on the right or the left. If you have a center well for higher gravities, you're not going to always be able to move your piece outside of that well. If you say you have a Tetris well, but you can't like crawl your T piece out of there, it can be a little annoying. So at a certain point, you definitely want to make sure you have a left or right well for higher gravity, and or closer to the right or left. So like the meta game is what's called 7-2, where you have 2 columns to the right of your well and 7 columns to the left of your well, which allows for things like ST stacking and just is much more forgivable. If you were to run into any errors, and has the flexibility if you want to freestyle a little bit and try to mix in T-spins, especially. If you're not going to go for T-spins, you might as well just go for 0-9 or 9-0 well and have your well on the far left or right side for Tetrises only. Another tip is if you are just trying to maintain back-to-back Tetrises, if you think about it this way, if you have a high center, you can easily decide where to put your piece. So, because you can, if you have a high center, you're guaranteed to be able to move your piece to the left or right. Whereas if you have a low center, you might get your pieces stuck in the center and you can't move them to the left or right. Either that or a nice slope from left to right, depending on where your Tetris well is. Yeah, this is a very close game. Going to come down to these high levels, I feel like. Got You Sauce does have a nice score lead, though. However, if Jason gets like even just 1 or 2 Tetrises, he should be poised to get caught up here because Tetrises are worth a lot more at this stage in the game. And his stack is certainly cleaner. And you know what? He's almost Tetris ready. Not to jinx it. There we go, Tetris for Jason. Oh, but Gaio Sauce fires back with a near simultaneous Tetris. And there we go, another Tetris for Gaio Sauce. So despite being a little higher on the stack, understands this is what you got to do in score attack. You just got to go for efficiency. Survivability at this point is not the name of the game. Maybe you could argue it for Gaio Sauce as they have a lead in this situation. You can play a little safer if you have a lead, but generally you just want to get farther ahead if you have the ability to do so. Number one mistake in strategy games, more so real-time strategy games, is to try to end the game early. Why not just get farther ahead and guarantee that dub? All right, getting a little rocky. Ooh, nice T-spin single there for Got You Sauce. Jason is lower on the board, though. Is going to have to nab some Tetrises here because the speed is going to increase. I'm curious if either of these players can play post level 25. I guess we're going to have to see because we're almost at that point. Oh, Jason had the right idea there. S&Z rotations can be finicky, to say the least. Because it's actually S&Z pieces you would think only have like 2 active states, but they actually have 4 active states, which mess with that spin that we saw that Jason tried to hit with the S piece. All right, so it's getting a little faster here. Got You Sauce going to hit the first big speed boost. Ooh, Jason tops out with the flagpole, the vertical long bar into the piece spawn, and nabs an A rank. Got You Sauce going to top out there. GG, that was really close. I think Got You Sauce's late game Tetrises paid off there on top of an already messy board. So the risk reward of going for that, going for Tetrises when if you mess up there, it's pretty much lights out, right? So nicely played, you two. That was a good first game for Jason. Happy you were able to play on tonight's showcase. Always happy to have some newcomers. New faces get my favored perspective, and I always like to see new faces here. So thank you for stopping by. And that's Pac-Man on the Discord. Nice job. Up next, who is up next? Oh, I guess Shotgun Got You Sauce. Oh, we have a lot of matches. Let's try to speed run through these. No more new matches, Ferox. So, Shock when you're ready. I think Got You Sauce is already in here. All right. Misdrops are underrated. Why did it create a T-spin for you? Shock, I think Shock has attended the most community showcases. I might be wrong. Definitely up there. Maybe tied with some of the others I mentioned earlier. Yeah, GG, Pac-Man, if you're listening. That was good stuff. Hopefully we'll see you in our future showcases. Next week, we have Connected Versus 3v1 teams, which is my personal favorite and probably the most chill of all of our showcases. Well, that's arguable, depending on if getting bombarded from a certain boss is chill to you or not. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I hope if you guys are looking to team up next week, or be the boss if you want to be the villain. It's also an option. All right, level 10 to start from Shock. Good luck, have fun, you too. Take a swig of my coffee here. Made a little late night coffee. I didn't have any earlier. So Shock is usually very good at maintaining a nice conservative 0-9 well, or 9-0 well. So we'll see if that is a factor here. So fundamentals are going to be important from Gayu Sauce if they're going to want to keep up here. Or conversely, or going for these T-spin doubles. That's also a excellent option, as I think T-spins are, I know T-spins are the best move in score attack. You get the same value out of a T-spin double as you would a Tetris, give or take. And more importantly, if you can maintain back-to-back T-spin doubles, you get more back-to-back bonuses. So that's kind of the next step. If you're maintaining perfect Tetrises, that's great. That can take you quite a while, or quite far up the leaderboards in score attack. But to truly progress to the next level, you're going to have to mix in T-spins in your play if you want to be able to take out the Super Shockies, the Feroxes, the Zins of the world. Or should I say the Siaki Gohans. I don't always associate Siaki Gohan with score attack, but as he has proved, he might be the best score attack player as far as we know. All right. Thought we'd be playing classic score attack next week. So we do 2 1v1s and then 8 teams. So classic score attack will be following the teams week. We mix in teams more. It's just kind of a good fit for our community showcases. Ooh, Shock almost had the PC Tetris there. Nobody's really gone for it, but I think the on a theoretical basis, going for perfect clear Tetrises is probably the most optimal way to play score attack. Maybe some top players can confirm that, validate that for me. Kind of like how Rated F for Fun plays Marathon, right? I just don't know how that plays into later levels. You might need to transition out of it, right? What's the issue? Is it just not consistent? I'd be curious to know how you feel about that. You can't consistently set up for PC Tetrises in 20G. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think rated F for fun in Marathon, when they can't maintain it, they transition into Infinite TST, if I'm not mistaken. I need to double check. I remember watching their runs when rated F for fun beat our anti-cheat for Marathon mode, utilizing perfect clear Tetrises. Yeah, ST stacking is probably will be the meta for the foreseeable future. But it's arguable that it's not. If you start at 20G, it's probably still the most efficient. But for like the lower level starts, like level 10, which is tournament legal, there are other playstyles to explore still for score attack competitions, for sure. So we are hitting some later levels here. Shock has Shock even broken this Tetris well? Shock does such a good job of maintaining Tetrises and score attack. However, Gaio Sauce is trying to mix in some T-spins here and there, and that can be the ticket to get caught up. I can't recall, I should know this by now, how late Shock can play in terms of levels. Yeah, forcing T-spins isn't a bad idea. You just got to be careful. Ideally, you can still get back-to-backs. But, yeah, taking a risk at this point isn't a bad idea. Bear in mind that Gaio Sauce is still behind by 20 lines, so if all those 20 lines are Tetrises or T-spins, this should be a much closer game than it looks to be in real time. Mouse controls. There's going to be... I am curious to know how the mouse controls are going to be implemented for the Switch 2 version of Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, or PPT 2S. Isn't there mouse controls on there? I wonder if you can actually use mouse controls in versus. That'd be pretty funny. I'm going to say you probably can't, but it'll be fun to mess around with. All right, so we're getting to the later stages here. Shock maintaining a very comfortable lead at this point. Gaio Sauce does have the right idea, whether she wants to or not. Just go for these T-spins. Try to hit big. But we are at the top of the board, and T-spin vision is easier said than done. When if you're trying to force T-spins under this pressure at the top of the board. And good attempt there. Gaio Sauce probably could have kept playing if she were to maintain a more conservative stack, but Shock doing an excellent job just maintaining that back-to-back Tetris rate. And nabs the S rank. Nicely played. All right, well, thank you two for playing. And up next, we will be going with Cool Matt and Coffee and Tetris. Make your way to the lobby. Oh, starting soon. That match is starting soon. Oh, we double prepared. We're extra prepared. But yeah, you are pinged with the room code in the Discord. Ferox, if you're around, maybe... Actually, as long as we're not both doing it. It helps me out if you are doing it, though, for now, if you're here. If you're not here, just message me. Broke the well because you tried 6-3 for a bit. 6-3 can be tricky to maintain when you get to the higher levels. Earlier on, it's not so bad, right? But once you get to, like, I want to say 13 to 15, it's probably not going to feel very great to maintain. I'm going to really need some good DAS control and movement control to maintain it. All right, we got Coffee and Tetris in the lobby. Just looking for Cool Matt, our resident YouTube chatter. Where are you at, Cool Matt? Oh, awesome. I appreciate that Jason is setting up some friendlies. And yeah, if you've already played and just want to play alongside the stream here, totally a good idea just to keep playing and suggest if you're looking for a match in the community showcase thread and or just find online matches on our Discord. Play alongside us. One thing I like to do when I'm watching classic Tetris tournaments is actually boot up either classic score attack or I have my OG console over there. And when the pros start their match, I start my match at the same time to see if I would quote unquote win this match, right? So if you're trying to like practice alongside watching other players, that's a good way to do it. So you can pretty much be in the same match in a sense if you think about it. I guess with score attack and classic score attack, you're not going to have the same bag or the same pieces dealt to you, but still you can try to, it's a fun way to practice. Oh, no Cool Matt tonight? Okay. Oh, that's right. He said earlier. We can get somebody else. Yeah, we'll get somebody else to play you. We could just do the next match for now and then try to find somebody for Coffee and Tetris. Okay. Yeah, thanks for being understanding Coffee and Tetris. Another regular here, so you'll get your fair share of matches. Tizago Knighting, that is a matchup. I feel like I haven't seen Tizago play Score Attack in a while. Mostly been watching Tizago play Zone Battle, so we'll see how they can stack up against Knighting, who is very strong at Score Attack. At least when in practice. I know Knighting, I don't know how much practice you've had recently, and if the missed drops are going to happen or not, but we'll see here. Cool. Good luck, half on YouTube. We got a spider versus an anchor. Knighting says they are sleepy. Much tired, such wow. And Tizago is rusty. Who wins, rust or sleep? Rusty or sleepy? Would you rather be rusty or sleepy when playing Tetris? This will be the deciding factor. That's actually a good question. Would you rather be rusty or sleepy when playing Tetris? I think I'd rather be... Thing about Sleepy Tetris, sometimes Sleepy Tetris is like godlike, or it's the worst Tetris I've ever played. Rusty Tetris is sometimes you have like a good perspective on things because you haven't played in a while. You're like a little refreshed. It's like, oh, this feels nice. and you're kind of dialed in because you haven't played in a while, or you just misdrop an absurd amount of times and your muscle memory is out of tune. So there's pluses and minuses to both conditions. Sleepy brings out his enemy. I understand what you mean by that. There is like it's like that XC, what is that comic strip? It's like the gotta be careful what I mention on the stream, but there's like a certain threshold where maybe there's a certain amount of sleep where it's like a perfect zen. But you have to hit that threshold for me personally. Grasspelt would rather be sleepy. Guitar is the same way. I think it's fun sometimes to go into a game when you are rusty, though. Or if you've been playing a different game mode and you approach the game mode you're familiar with in a different way. For example, if I have been playing a game mode that rewards more efficiency, like say Ultra or something, been grinding that, then I hop back into Zone Battle. I start to play like extremely more efficient than I usually would. That isn't so much rusty, but for example, Tizaga's been playing a lot of Zone Battle, so going into Score Attack may have a different approach. I'm not sure how Zone Battle would help your Score Attack as much, but you guys get what I'm saying, I think. What is this stack from Tizago here? Ooh, that might have been... Alright. I am really curious how this is going to get resolved. When Tizago does work through this, there is a T-spin double and a Tetris waiting, so maybe just trying to find a nice clean way to deal with this as they set up a fractal and 3 T-spins. There we go. Okay. And similar line count. So Knighting has a true lead of about 100k that can be broken in these later levels. Tizago's out might be if Tizago can get into later levels. I think Tizago has does pretty good on later level gravity, but so does Knighting. So Knighting's a tough cookie when it comes to Score Attack. I'm trying to get a Score Attack dub. But yeah, probably the first match of the night where both players are pretty much farming for T-spin doubles. The most efficient line clear. Or T-spins in general are the most efficient line clear. And now we see Tizago getting back into what's called the ST stack, or in this case, the ZT stack, because we're using the red Z piece rather than the green S piece. Where you continue to prop your Z and or S piece, depending on your orientation on the board here, to continually set up T-spin doubles. And this is easier to do in high gravity because of the location of the well. So this is something you could also just practice in marathon mode if you're not trying to, hop right into multiplayer, but highly recommend it. ST stacking can take a second to get to learn, and it can look on face value might not look as interesting if you are like a Tetris enthusiast, but there are a lot of little things that go into maintaining a proper ST stack that you have to kind of think about, be aware of. So if you're looking to learn a new strategy and up your game and Score Attack, definitely recommend learning ST. Now Tizago has their work cut out for him, hitting level 31. All right, we'll see if we get Tizago might be able to win on the level, if anything, on style points here. Knighting's really good at this as well. All right, what's our line count? Almost 32. Oh, doesn't rotate. 209 lines for Tizago. Oh, 203. Knighting's super close. Oh, 205. Double level 31. Very nice. But Knighting definitely playing more efficient that round, especially since Tizago got into tree strats at some point, playing in the top 4 to 6 rows there for a while. GG. Nicely played. GFG from Stormbound Arcade. Well put. All right. So that is, yeah, we really went from, not 0 to 100. We went from like 50, maybe 60, the speed limit, like 65 miles per hour here in Ohio in the US. Or make that around 80 kilometers per hour for you Canadians, I guess. No, it's higher than that. It'd be like 100 kilometers per hour, right? We dialed it up to 100 mph. All right, who's next? So, Scaly Dan, True Account, and Ferox. Ooh, we got a Ferox match. All right, Ferox, how much smack can we talk here? As a friend. All right. Bring the heat. All right. Now, Scaly Dan opted into this match, and I think they guesstimated their SR, probably less active in the queue, which I appreciate. We have this player, Salil, that signs up for some of these and does not play ranked, but they are very, very good. It's always appreciated when people guesstimate their rating. But meanwhile, Ferox is a top 4 player of TECWC 2024 Score Tech. Lost out to Super Shocky. I want to say no. Is that right? It's either Zin or Super Shocky that Ferox lost to. So, if any of you are familiar with either of those players, you realize that is a tall order. And Ferox is competitive with the best of the best. So, one of our top Score Tech players. And we'll see if Scaly Dan can keep up, who's really moving along here with this ST stack. And I believe Scaly Dan does make it into our Masters bracket for Score Attack and does an excellent job as well. So, considering this is a best of one, anything can happen. We see that ST stacking on full force again. One of the trickier parts of ST stacking is the opener. Once you kind of get into the mid game, you can kind of, with a lot of experience, recognize how to best approach this. All right, Scaly Dan, aka Mario Expert, did have to break there. Had a few line skims. At a certain point, you're going to have to what's called reset your ST stack, which means you want to put 2 T pieces to the left. So pretty much every T piece is going to be used for that that notch that is created by propping the Z piece on the right or S piece on the left. But after a while, because of how the bags work in here, you're going to have to put your T pieces on the left to quote unquote reset the board, or else you're going to run into some parity issues and or just lack of piece issues. The same goes for mixing one of the, in this case, the Z piece on the left. Usually you put all your Z pieces to the right. So there's like some things you need to account for. They come with a lot of practice. And one of the fun things of watching ST as well, players are bound to make mistakes unless you are truly an amazing human being. Or generally, even the best of the best are going to make mistakes. how to resolve that board, because a mistake when you are doing this ST stacking strategy can be pretty hard to deal with a lot of the times. But there's a lot of strategies and tools that the players may have in mind for certain misdrops, and how they acclimate it and try to get their board back into the ST stacking strategy is usually very impressive. So Ferox is doing an excellent job maintaining this. I think, yeah, Mario Expert here is kind of freestyling a little bit because they got out of ST. One thing you always want to take note of is the line count. So Ferox is only at 75 lines cleared, whereas Mario Expert's at 115 lines cleared. So that's about 40 to 50 lines of runway here for Ferox to get caught up. So if those 40 to 50 lines are all Tetrises or T-spins, Tetrises and T-spins, chances are Ferox is within striking distance of Mario Expert, right? So always want to keep that in mind. It was Ferox and Zen, Yoshi, and Chalky, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, now that we're kind of, because Mario Expert didn't necessarily maintain that ST stack, we see more of a freestyle thing. Just trying to fish out that T-spin efficiency to maintain this lead. And Ferox is just playing so clean right now. If all goes well, he's going to eat up that 330k lead that Mario Expert has, who's playing about 50 lines in the future here. Especially in these later levels where the T-spins are worth more. And Tetrises. Regardless, still an excellent display so far from Mario Expert. Let's see if they can break this 1.8 threshold. Got close, 1.78. And Ferox looking poised to take this. Maintaining a really clean game. But we'll see if this devolves or if Ferox chokes, which can happen. Not looking like, oh, well. All right, manages to get a T-spin there and is good. Maybe a cat will walk on the keyboard if Ferox has a cat in the home. I have fallen victim to that multiple times. Yeah, if you're behind by what seems like it's an insurmountable lead, just know that some of your opponents out there have some feline or canine friends out there that may distract them, or some family members like, hey, get off this game. We have to do X thing, and your opponent may top out, so it's never over until it's over. I have video evidence of my cat ruining my game multiple times. All right. Yeah, Ferox is on a tear right now. This is from a higher level start, which is yeah, very impressive score for that. So, ooh, 12k average. That's hard for anybody to beat. Very nicely done. One of the best to do it here in Score Attack Ferox, taking out Dan, who should not feel bad losing to a score like that. So, yeah, thanks for playing, Dan, aka Mario Expert, aka Scaly Dan. What Mario game are you an expert of? Mario Teaches Typing? Mario's Hotel, or whatever that game was called. All right. So up next, we have RB versus Grasspelt. Make your way to the lobby. Oh, no, in Grasspelt, are we going to have any custom settings? Yes. Change the rule, set to Ultra. No other settings to change. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have some settings requests, which, by the way, for any community showcases, you're welcome to request some fun settings if you want to mix it up. There's a lot of settings that people are still not familiar with, so let me pull up these settings here. So we have a request from the next matchup to go to Ultra Mode. No other settings are to be changed. If we change the time limit, Grasspelt? Do you want a 30-second match? Time to 3 minutes, okay. All right, so we're going to do a head-to-head 3 minutes. I guess we can do 2 rounds of Ultra, because I usually give people about 5 minutes, right? Cool. So I guess what that does is you pretty much just start with the time limit, get as much points as you can within that time limit. Sometimes, if you're curious, you could always turn off game over, so you could like top out and keep playing. But all right, we're going to go with that. Good luck, have fun. All right. Oh. Uh-oh. The match begins at some point. Might need to reset the lobby. All right, we can play the game. See how quickly we can move the mouse through the middle here. It's my favorite. Oh, oh, oh. Looking like we might need a remake. If I'm a guessing man, if I'm a betting man. All right, I'm gonna remake. I'll reboot my game and I'll put a new room code within the Discord. I'll actually use Fairbot to change my room code. Okay, just Ultra, 3 minutes, thank you. And yeah, for those that tuned in later in the stream while I'm getting this set up, any games you're looking forward to playing this weekend, anything you want to share with the community. I'll be playing this game called Mechabellum, which I got, like a turn-based strategy game. Tetris the Grandmaster 4. I'll be playing Tetris Effect Connected on our Discord tomorrow in the Full Moon Hangout. And I might try this other game called Wild Gate that I got an invite to the playtest for. It's kind of like a Sea of Thieves in space in a way. All right. Lobby has been made. Grasspelt and who's the other player? RB. Okay. Should be good to go. Oh yeah, I'm happy you had a chance to participate. But yeah, same time next week, we'll be doing 3v1 teams and or boss. And tomorrow we'll be hanging out in the Discord in one of the voice channels around 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. If that interests you, we'll be kind of just hanging out. Anything goes on Tetris Effect, Weekend Ritual, and such. All right. Oh, there we go. So we got an ultra match, meaning only 3 minutes to go here. Who will get the most score? So for this, you don't necessarily need to play the most efficient. Speed is going to be a big factor for this because it kind of reduces the need for a runway, right? As long as you're clearing lines, you'll be looking good for some ultra here. Grasspelt getting a little close to the top here. Still ahead on score. Now for this, we can throw pace out the window. It really is just about real-time score, which is kind of an interesting change of pace for score attack. Yeah, going first can be it can be a little nerve-wracking. Always appreciate the kickoff match, though. Whoever manages to be around for that. All right, RB managed to take the lead, getting some high up T-spins here. Only a minute and 16 to go here. Grasspelt looking like they're getting into... I think they were kind of fishing for a T-spin there. Ooh, this is going to be close. Yeah, it's all about that real-time score. Don't need to think about pace or anything like that for Ultra mode. Big T-spin triple from Grasspelt. It's actually really big. Grasspelt is using speed to his advantage here. Big T-spin double for RB. Well, there we go. Got some back-to-back from RB, but we only have 10 seconds left. So looking like Grasspelt will take game number 1 here. Because it's a 3-minute limit, I'm going to let them play another round, because these are pretty quick-fire matches. Fascinating to see how differently people play it, 100%. Yeah, at a certain point, it does get really optimized, right? Where players might be approaching the game in a similar way, using similar strategies and whatever the meta game is, right, for that given mode. One thing I really like about the community showcases are the fact that not everyone is familiar with the meta game, which allows people to kind of go about the game in their own way, which is awesome. And you can kind of see their traits and where they flourish, whether it's like speed or efficiency. Some players, we have somebody that's been playing in our showcases, Oliver, who is extremely efficient but very slow, right? and it has been working on speed. And then we have the opposite. We have players that play more conservative, players that want to just only fish for T-spins and goofy setups. Different uses of piece preview counts. Yeah. For a game that's so... You would think Tetris would be so figured out in a way. There's a lot of character and personality to how people play. And, like, how often does X player misdrop, right? How consistent is one player? Consistency is a huge thing in a high-level play. Like, how consistent are you? Can you continually play without misdropping? Do you have on and off days, right? When it comes to competitive play where players are so optimized, like, that's a big deal. Grass Pelt doing a good job this time. RB, keep it up in the line count. We have about a minute and 15 to go here. If RB can manage to get some T-spins and Tetrises, can get caught up here, especially if Grass Pelt runs into some issues. Putting a dent in that lead, 50 seconds out. Can we see the comeback? Big Tetris for RB. Grass Pelt getting back into a scoring position. Once again, it looks like trying to leverage that speed a little bit more. Doesn't look like Grass Pelt's going to be letting RB get caught up here. Wonder if RB feels under pressure because of the speed Grass Pelt's playing at. Could a TGM player win in score attack? Yeah, generally, time is up. Thanks for the mix-up, you two. Got some Ultra games in there. I don't know if we've really had a whole lot of Ultra score attack on this stream. If we have, it probably was Grass Pelt last time we did it. But yeah, generally, like, if you are a TGM player, your skills can translate to, say, Master Mode or score attack, like it has for people like Green Tea, for example. Especially when it comes to playing on the post 29 levels, like Running Out Rate, Zen SS. They're both talented TGM players. All right, do we have one more match? One more match, I think. Coffee Cup and Mac and Cheesy. Are they still around? I see Mac and Cheesy in the chat. I think they were playing on the side, but if they want to play a match on stream, we could do that to close it out. Okay, great. I'll tag Fairbot here. Oh, Fairbot isn't responding to me. I'll just tag the players. Coffee Cup and Mac and Cheesy. Oh, Mac and Cheesy's here. All right. But yeah, Coffee Cup, if you're listening, we'll get the last game in here. I love using classic rules with modern quality of life. Yeah, classic bag, score attack is a whole nother beast for sure. All right, it looks like both players are in here. Oh wait, let me, I need to revert the lobby. Okay, there we go. We're not playing Ultra. We need to ready. I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. Mac and cheesy and coffee. Yeah, the mod retro version is interesting. I played that at last year's CTWC. They should have put me on that stage. I wanted to go against Logan Paul. Teach that man a lesson in Tetris. All right. I think Quaid was a good person to do that, though. Anyways. All right, last match of the night. I was feeling nice. Got these two in here. Going a little overtime. You all are lucky I love Tetris as much as I do. All right, simul Tetris for both players. Only lead here is for Mac and Cheesy, who's just moving a little bit quicker, getting those hard drop points. And yeah, just as a reminder, final reminder, you know what? Don't quote me there. Maybe I'll do one more reminder before I sign off here. We have a full moon hangout on the Discord tomorrow in the voice chat. If you're looking to find some people to play with, to socialize, whether you're in the multiplayer ranked queue, looking for people to play connected with, whether it's the Maniac mod or just if you haven't completed Area 5 yet, if you're going to play through the Weekend Ritual, come hang out with us. And yeah, welcome to discuss whatever. Generally try to keep it Tetris related. It's a good time. I'll probably snipe Ferox in some zone battle ranked. That is the tradition, for me at least. The tradition that has been broken is trying to watch Grasspelt collect every Weekend Ritual avatar. To the point where we thought his game was bugged, but it was just really bad RNG. Anyways, got a close match here. Similar line count. Small lead for Mac and Cheesy. Coffee going for the center well Tetris. Almost has it set up. And it's going to need the long bar now. Really nice center well stack from Coffee. And set up for another Tetris. We'll see if the back-to-back comes into play here. Might decide to go for a skim. Probably the responsible thing to do there. Responsible stacking. Meanwhile, Mac and Cheesy does open up for the Tetris here. See if they can bolster this lead. Very small lead, so very close so far. Like how Coffee is kind of freestyling. We got Tetris wheels all over the place. Ooh, we got a T-spin set up for Mac and Cheesy. Hits it. T-spin single. Getting some bonus points out of that. Interesting stack here. Manages to find the J-tuck. Very nice. Meanwhile, Coffee has a double long bar dependency. Nips the bud on the left side there. I don't know if that T-piece was intentional, maybe a small misdrop there. Either way, can actually build a Tetris off this. We'll see how aggressive they want to play. Decide to play a little conservative, just bringing it down. Once again, the smart thing to do. Me personally, I love to be greedy. I fish for all efficiency, and it does not always pay off. All right, Mac and Cheesy maintaining this pretty minimal lead, especially as these levels increase. Tetrises and teaspoons are going to be worth more. Oh no, Coffee and Tetris is going to top out after some pretty rough misdrops there. And Mac and Cheesy is good with the 23k lead. Really close up to that point. May have been the speed pressure there, or just a series of unfortunate events. When you run into one misdrop, usually that leads into another. And given the board height Coffee had there, that was lights out. But yeah, thank you too for playing. And Mac and Cheesy, you can play this out a little bit if you want while I close out the stream here. See if there's anybody to raid here on Twitch. We'll probably say hi to Zago following the stream. Looks like they're playing a bunch of multiplayer, trying to get some SR. All right. Yeah, this was a good stream. We got a lot of matches in. So Mac and Cheesy's still going at it here. Stream will end with Mac and Cheesy. Oh, they decided to end it now. Okay. But yeah, good game. And I think this is both of your first games. So hopefully, definitely feel free to tune in next week for teams, 3v1 teams. And happy I was able to get you in there. We definitely went over time today, but always happy to have new faces. New faces will extend the stream for me personally. So yes, thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't already at discord.gg/enhance if you're brand new to the scene. And yeah, stop by the Discord tomorrow to hang out. Next week, Connected Versus. I think that's it. Hope you all have a good weekend. Hope you get some gameplay time in, or disconnect if you're like me and work at your desk all week and you want to get away from the computer screen for a little bit. That's going to be my go-to, at least until the community hangout. Yeah, we'll say hi to Zago. Looks like they're going to be playing some multiplayer. If you want to root them on and or snipe them in their ranked queues. Oops, there's a typo. There we go. All right, so here on Twitch, say hi to Zago and everyone on YouTube and X. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you next week. Oh, Zago's ending the stream? Oh, they were streaming during this? Well, Zago can carry the torch for us. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.